the Toastmaster said that the two leaders were coming in, Jean-Marie Le Pen of the Front National and Nick Griffin of the British National Party, and we should all be upstanding, so we all stood up. You've got two leaders far right coming in through that door to a huge round of applause, and they came in like kings, greeting their subjects. Then the speeches came. Jean-Marie Le Pen spoke.
L'immigration de masse est le plus grand danger que notre continent ait jamais rencontré dans son histoire. Britain forever! Vive la France!
And then Nick Griffin.
If they dare to show this event on television, millions of people are going to think, whoa, we thought this was a party of back streets and smoky pubs and lager and all the rest of it. And wow.
I was so apprehensive at the start of the day, but at the end of it, you know, came through it.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ben.
Quick eating tomorrow. Another meeting in Click Eating or wherever. But it'll soon be over. Oh, that's it then.
The BNP has 10 candidates standing for local council election in Bradford. No one from the BNP standing in the ward where Andy lives.
I've done my job right. Yeah. Should have been possibly 20 candidates on my standing in this area, and I've stopped more than now, so I'm happy. I'd have been happier if they want any candidates standing.
June the 11th, and local election votes are being counted across Yorkshire.
Got my invitation, guest of Stuart Williams, and also got my rather nice looking BNP rosette, which I'm going to be wearing.
It's the second time the man who says he wants to kill Muslims and attack mosques has stood for election.
What do you think about what's democracy like?
Well, bollocks.
What would you do?
No democracy in Britain. What I do? Close borders.
What?
Close borders.
What?
Close the borders.
Close the borders.
So you've got 2 weeks to get out.
Stuart Paul Williams, 877.
The Liberal Democrats win. Williams increases his vote, and he's only 77 behind the Conservatives, who come second.
And I hereby declare that the...
But for the first time ever, the BNP gets councillors in Bradford, taking 4 seats. 2 of them are in Keighley, when Nick Griffin launched his controversial anti-paedophile campaign.
Neil Kirby.
Among the other successful BNP candidates is Jim Luthwaite.
James Luthwaite, Max Cummings.
Charges that have been leveled at you that you are fascist and Nazi.
We've been subjected to a campaign of vituperation and defamation practically without parallel. But obviously the electorate are not taken in, and that is the important thing. At the end of the day, it's their decision.
This is the man who earlier told me that he believes in deporting Muslims. Later, I go for a drink with the newly elected councillor.
I'll fight tooth and nail to make sure everybody speaks English. That is, you know, no, I'm not having Gujarati speaking communities, Punjabi speaking communities, Kashmiri radio stations. That is the road to perdition. We will end up with a Balkan War. Now we all speak English. That is the basic line. I don't care if you're Ukrainian, Polish, Italian, or whatever you're learning. That is the basic line. If you don't want to learn English, well, piss off.
Meanwhile in Leeds, the man who describes asylum seekers as cockroaches is confident of being elected, but he has a nervous wait.
Collett, Mark Adrian, British National Party, 949. Graham, Ronald, Labour Party.
Although Collett didn't get elected to Leeds Council, the BNP polled nearly 127,000 votes across Yorkshire and Humberside in the European elections. That's an 8% share of the vote, but still not enough to win a seat in the European Parliament.
The vote increased so dramatically. It's
not the end of the world.
Yeah, it was.
If our vote had actually gone down, then that's a disaster. It's not a disaster doubling your vote and failing to get in. That says to me that these bastards have screwed us. At the end of the day, we'll be back.
BNP hopes for a seat in the European Parliament now rest on the leader Nick Griffin. He's in Manchester and is surrounded by dark-suited heavies. They even escort him to the toilet. When the results are finally announced for the North West, the BNP polls nearly 135,000 votes. That's a 6.4% share. But again, it's not enough, and Griffin and his entourage leave in a huff before the results are formally declared. Across the country, the BNP quadrupled its vote. 750,000 people voted for them. The highest vote ever for a far-right party in the UK. Although it failed to win a significant number of seats, the results are a substantial leap forward for the BNP.
We've got to do a lot more in this country to try and deal with the issues of racial prejudice, bigotry, ignorance, and hatred, and how that contributes to people having very warped views of how they can just take people out and exterminate them. It's almost a throwback to Nazism, and we've all got to be concerned and frightened by what's going on.
They'll probably call me a traitor, but I can question that and say, a traitor to what? You know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not the traitor, they're the traitors.
I've heard council candidate Stuart Williams boast again and again that he would like to kill Muslims. I've recorded Steve Barkham confessing to grievous bodily harm. Council candidate Dave Midgley confessing to racially aggravated harassment. And I've recorded newly elected councillor Chris Kirby taking part in a conspiracy to commit criminal damage. I've recorded speeches by John Tyndall, the man who founded the British National Party. Mark Collett, a rising star within the movement. And its leader, Nick Griffin, all inciting racial hatred. All of our evidence is available to the police and Crown Prosecution Service.
Nick Griffin will be interviewed on Newsnight at 10:30 on BBC Two. If you have been affected by racism, then please call the BBC Action Line on 0800 88 88 09 for sources of support and further information. Line